Latest developments. Ship Mayday call allowed officials to stop bridge traffic. Cargo ship dropped anchor before collision. Investigation points to accident. Maryland Gov says 6 of 8 people on bridge remain unaccounted for. Baltimore, March 26. Reuters. A massive freight ship stacked high with containers smashed into a bridge while sailing out of Baltimore early on Tuesday, sending cars and people into the river below and closing one of the busiest ports on the U.S. eastern seaboard. Rescuers pulled out 2 survivors, one of whom was hospitalized, and were searching for more in the Patapsco River after huge metal spans of the 1.6-mile (2.57 kilometers) Francis Scott Key Bridge crumpled into the icy water at around 1:30 a.m. The ship reported a power issue and officials halted the flow of traffic on the bridge between the Mayday call and the collision, Maryland Governor Wes Moore said at a briefing. By being able to stop cars from coming over the bridge, these people are heroes. They saved lives last night, he said. 8 people were on the bridge at the time and 6 remained unaccounted for, the state's transportation secretary said hours after the collision, which closed one of the busiest ports in the United States. The preliminary investigation pointed to an accident, Moore said, and there were no credible reports of terrorism. Ship traffic was suspended at the Port of Baltimore until further notice. It is the busiest U.S. port for car shipments, handling more than 750,000 vehicles in 2022, according to port data. The closure of one of the U.S. East Coast's major ports threatens to disrupt supplies of goods from cars to coal and other commodities like sugar. It could create bottlenecks and increase delays and costs on the eastern seaboard, experts say. The port handles the most car imports and is among the largest for coal exports. The 948-foot (288.95 meters) vessel, as long as 3 football pitches placed end-to-end, had experienced a momentary loss of propulsion and dropped anchors as part of emergency procedures before impact, its management company, Synergy Marine Private Limited reported, according to the Singapore Port Authority. The Dolly, owned by Grace Ocean Private Limited, collided with one of the pillars of the bridge, according to manager Synergy. All 22 crew members aboard the Singapore-flagged vessel were accounted for, it said. After midnight, the U.S. Coast Guard reported the collapse at 1:27 a.m. 0627 GMT, and it deployed crews for an active search and rescue mission after the Singapore-flagged container ship forced the trellis-like bridge up into a mangled mass of metal. Jamie Krause, 32, was working a night shift on shore when the cart of packages in front of her shook violently at around 2 a.m. in what sounded like an intense thunderstorm. A co-worker at an Amazon logistics facility told her the bridge had collapsed and she ran out to look.